What I was afraid of was the death of 1,000 cuts, right? And even since I said it, we've seen that, So we end up with him facing a confidence vote, and he loses. And that's not a good way for anybody to go out. My preference is an honourable resignation.
You have sat there too long for all the good you have done. In the name of God, go.
Veteran Conservative MP David Davis helped prop up John Major, lost to David Cameron, and then helped finish off Theresa May. Now he's leading calls for Boris Johnson to go. I went to his office in Parliament to ask what happens to the party and the country if this Prime Minister clings on.
The issue was sort of threefold, really. I was getting more and more worried that if we went through the normal process, it would take years almost. And so in the first instance, I had written to him, texted him before Christmas, early December, saying you're going to have a terrible time, you need to do the following things, use the fire break. Didn't respond. Not surprised. I then put that in the public domain in the newspapers.
Yeah.
I then, on the morning of the event, I was on my exercise bike. What I do in the morning is I do 5 clicks on the exercise bike and a rowing machine, and I watch the night before's news, the recording of it. That's my sort of, if I get in too late to watch it, that's what I do. And I watched his interview.
No, nobody told me that what we were doing was, as you say, against the rules, that the event in question was something that we were going to do something that wasn't a work event.
And that seemed to me to fail on a number of levels. It failed, it was his laws he passed. I mean, I also thought it's a bit of a failure of moral leadership, that you don't blame your subordinates if it's your fault. And I just thought at this point, this is not going to come right. Sue Gray or not, it's not going to come right. And what advice would I give him if I was sitting in his office privately? I'd say resign, So that was the thought process, really.
What happens if Boris Johnson doesn't do as you say and just go? What happens to him? What happens to the party? What happens to the country?
I like Boris. I've known him for over 30 years. He was a Europe reporter when I was Europe minister. I wouldn't say we're not bosom pals. We're different social groups, put it that way. But I've always had a fondness for him, and I don't want to hurt him. But the truth is, if this goes on, his reputation for delivering Brexit, for delivering a big Tory majority, for getting us out of the pandemic. All right, there were mistakes, but the vaccine strategy was a huge success. All of those things will be forgotten if you don't take it in your own hands and resign. And you end up being pulled down in a year's time. You'll do damage to the party, most importantly, damage to the country, because we've got Ukraine to deal with and other things to deal with, and also, I'm afraid, damage to himself. Personality foibles that we knew were there from the beginning, and people used to say, all this sort of pseudo-sophisticated comments like it's priced in, and Boris plays for a different set of rules. Well, no, I mean, not in this context. If it's about his personal life, yes, they do, but not in this context. And that's what's gone wrong. There comes a point where your sort of order of priority is nation, party, nation constituency, party, after friends and family, and then after that, leader. And that's where it is.
Just finally, then, it's the job that's eluded you all the way along. Are you tempted to throw your hat into the ring?
Oh God! The best piece of advice that I ever given, right, was by Michael Heseltine, who also didn't win, another favourite who didn't win, and he said, "He who wields the dagger never wears the crown." So I'd have to be off my head to do what I did last week, and have that ambition. There you go.